Woo! Woo! Aaron, what is up, my guy? In
Going
place for
on?
Holden. We'd love to see it. Love to see it. Our favorite co-host, favorite data analyst. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, dude. Well, not about the Steelers, but we're still in the mix.
Still in the mix.
I need a few things to fall my way. I sound like Holden now, dude. It's so weird.
I mean, oh,
Like,
how the turntables, like for real. But
I mean, I can't count the how many times I laughed at him whenever he was like, "Dude, I just need like these three teams to lose and this team to tie, and then we'll be in."
then we're right back in it. We're right back in it.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the season where it's actually kind of trending that way. I mean, they still, I don't want to say it's win or go home, but it's like they need to keep winning because if they lose, it could be over like that. So
yeah.
no, so they need to keep the foot on gas there. But Aaron, how's it going? It's Thursday. We're recording on a Thursday, a little late
Yes,
this week,
sir.
but it's all good. Do you want to talk about anything from this past weekend? Did anything stick out to you at all?
Oh, let me just look back at the slate, just get a
Yeah,
get a good
yeah.
feel of what we looked at last time.
Little refresher.
I really
Hmm.
liked the punishment that the Lions put on the Minnesota Vikings.
Dude, that was nice. That was
Because
really nice.
you think about how good everybody was talking about how the Minnesota Vikings were, and it's like, okay, yeah, Jettis is good, Kirk's playing well, but like, how long is this
Kirk on a 1
sustainable?
p.m., you know?
Dude, you would think he would win those, I don't know. But
I mean,
the Lions have been looking really good, dude.
they
And
could sneak
then
in. By all means, they could sneak in.
yeah, and then I mean the Eagles kind of routing the Giants. I mean, like I saw the Eagles winning. Like we all picked the Eagles, I'm pretty sure, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the Giants just not just laying down and just taking it.
I mean, anytime you almost put up 50 in an NFL game, like 50 in a college game, whatever, maybe paying so nobody, but like these are all professional athletes,
They're
and you're,
pros.
yeah, and it's like you're
You're
beating them
manhandling them.
by literally double their score. It's like that's kind of insane.
Awful.
So,
And then I think one more was the Panthers.
oh, dude,
Uh,
that was a good one. That was a great one,
they are playing some good football, and I'm a
dude.
little
They're
scared about this weekend. We'll see. We'll see. What about you? What did you think?
So what's talking to me? Oh, so the Chargers getting the dub. I believe that was the Sunday night game.
Yep.
And yeah, because I needed that. I mean, honestly, I want the Bills to win the AFC East. I need the Dolphins to drop some games just to make sure that that's
Yep.
solidified. Obviously, the greater goal is to get that and can keep the number one seed. So I need the Chiefs to lose a game, which Broncos almost came up with that. And I think there's another game for me. I know it's a little old by this point, but at the Rams, I think Baker coming in at like halftime, not playing a full game, putting up great numbers, like leading a drive, only being there for less than 48 hours or whatever.
Yeah, he didn't even know where the like his home locker room was. Like when
No,
he got out there, it's just like, all right, go in and leading the game-winning drive. I mean,
it
again,
was,
you know me. Like I hated to see it because it was Baker, and Baker's
yeah,
always a Brown to me. But
yeah,
like you said, it's like he has a chip on his shoulder.
yeah,
He's playing for his career
yep.
basically, and yeah, that was a wholesome thing to see, especially for like if you like good football, that was great.
No, it was wonderful. It makes you think like, oh, like what if he played the whole game? And like I know it's just one game, but just like I think everyone, the media responding it the next day was just saying like, oh, the odds of this happening, like
Very slim.
some guys it takes a whole year to get a playbook down, and he seemed to get it down within less than 72 hours. Like
That was insane. Yeah.
absolutely nuts. I love it. So that was super cool to see. We'll see what happens this week because I'm assuming he's getting the start again, but
I mean,
not a
I'd
lot of
give it.
guys get to start for three different teams. So
That's true.
you
Unless you're
know,
Josh McCown.
yeah, but even then, like or a Fitzpatrick,
Fitty
it's
Pat,
like
yeah.
I mean, but that's a guy coming off the bench, like in an injury scenario, and I think Baker or at least majority of quarterbacks they want to be the guy. Like
Right,
even Gino being a backup for a while, like it's like they want to be the franchise.
right.
Yeah, the backup's a great one. So.
That's how you get your bag, man. You gotta play well to eat well.
Nah,
So
exactly. I'm with you there. But what do you say we get into some picks?
I am so down.
Oh, dude, I'm ready for this Thursday night matchup between the Niners and the Seahawks. This feels like vintage, like NFC West. And by vintage, I mean like late 2010s, early 2010s, with
Yes.
Patrick Willis and like Alex Smith and Russell Wilson and the Legion of Boom, just two good teams kind of duking it out. So, and I think the Niners need this because
Ah!
I know the Seahawks are number 2 in the West. So Niners, I think they get this one. I think they pretty much lock up the division. So, but tell me who you
Yes.
got in this one and why.
So, dude, San Fran's defense to me has played so well for the past couple weeks, and that's something I can't look past. I mean, Gino can have those great games where he's throwing for 300 yards, couple
Yeah,
touchdowns,
yeah,
and Kenneth Walker, I think, practiced in full yesterday, so he's going to come
yep.
back. But I don't think that's going to matter, dude. The defense for San Fran has been stalwart.
It's
Now,
gnarly, man.
so granted, it's a division game, right? Those
Yep.
are always chippy, and these
Mm-hmm.
guys they have a history. That's why you
Mm-hmm.
don't put a sorry wide receiver on
On Richard Sherman.
on Richard Sherman. And so they have a history, and I think it's going to be chippy. But I don't think Seattle's defense has played well enough to stop Christian McCaffrey. Um, Brock Purdy, right, is the
Yeah,
name,
yeah, Purdy boy.
as Bert calls him, Big Cock Brock. They just I don't know, dude.
Print the shirts, print the
It's
shirts.
a great name, dude. It's gonna sell. It's
It's gonna
totally gonna
sell.
sell. Um, I will say that the loss of uh, who's the wide receiver? Oh man,
For Seattle or for
Debo. Debo.
oh
The loss of
Debo.
Debo is gonna play big here. But Ayuk has been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's San Fran.
Dude, yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. I think you really kind of said it all. This Hawks team has been so weird for me to figure out all year. I think everyone just thought they were going to be absolute dog crap,
Yeah,
and they won some games. They looked good. Like
they did.
I had to eat crow and say I was wrong. And I feel the past 3 weeks it's kind of been more so the team that we thought they would be. And like
Right.
I think them dropping that one to Carolina kind of says maybe they peaked a little too early if we're going
Right.
to define it in that sense. But that being said, I love this Niners team. I love the way they handled Tom Brady at home.
Yeah. Oh my God. What, 35-7?
It
Oh.
was just I was
Oh.
it, dude, if you're a Tom Brady hater, if you're just a Niners fan, you're just like, oh sweet Lord, it's just like a good one. It's just like it's almost like a back scratch, you didn't know you needed until
Yes.
like you
Yes.
got it. You're like, don't stop. But so I'm all on the Niners. I'm all in them for that. So I think it'll be a good game. I hope so at least. But so let's move it on
Wait,
to.
hold on. What did Holden pick? Holden got.
Oh shoot, that's right. Yeah, he did text. I forgot we're doing Holden's picks, even though he's not here. Shout out Holden.
Let's
So
see. He
so
had.
he has San Fran, of
Cool.
course.
Cool. And
But
like, how does that help him in the NFC race, right? Like, if they just
okay.
stack wins.
Yeah. So at this point, like his logic and like I think I'm articulating this correctly. Holden will correct me if I'm wrong. But so essentially he just knows the division is gone. Like
Hmm.
so he's fighting for a wild card. So he wants other potential wild card teams like the Seahawks to lose so that
Okay.
if in case the worst does happen and knock on wood, Washington drops a game, then it won't matter because everyone else below them has also dropped a game. So they still don't lose
True.
their spot. Because
True.
there really in all possibility can be 4 NFC East teams in the playoffs. Like I'm sure there's some technicalities in there, but I think we're at least seeing 3. Like I think Dallas is in, and then you're looking at either Giants or Washington.
Yeah, I think the matchup this Sunday, we'll get to that, is going to be
Yeah,
massive.
for sure. But
But
before I
yes.
forget, I forgot to do the whole freaking show intro,
Oh
Aaron.
yeah.
Hopefully you remember. I've been real bad about this like the past half season,
Ah,
but
this
this
is
is partially
partially
biased.
biased.
The bias show, the show with biased takes from biased fans. Partially, just like a little, like, or a
Partially.
lot, depending on the matchup. That being said, next game, Indianapolis Colts playing Minnesota in Minnesota. It's gonna be a cold one up there, even though they play in the dome. They're playing on 1 o'clock again,
Again.
which is Kirk's premier time. He's really bad in prime time or any other time that is not 1 o'clock.
Yep.
This Colts team, I wanted to say they had a late bye. Yeah, they did, so I guess they're getting healthy, but I'll keep it short and sweet. I think it's got to be Vikings. They bounce back. I'm pretty sure they clinched the division with this win. They literally just need one more win, and they clinch, or at least a playoff spot. So I think they get that against this Colts team that really is, I don't know, they're really just trying to figure out whatever, and we'll see next season. Yeah,
horrible.
Hey, they beat that Raiders team though.
Oh, yeah. And the Raiders are showing out recently too. After that, so
I mean, up until they got beat by the Rams on Monday night.
That's okay. That was Baker time, dude.
I know. Like if I had I mean, I think I said myself mentally, I was like, oh, if I knew Baker was starting, I would have picked the Rams. And no, I wouldn't have. Anyone coming off, not to talk about this too much, but 3 days, the playbook, you're not picking that.
No.
So, but I'm all on the Vikings here. I think they bounce back. I think this Colts team just does not have enough, at least offensively, to get this done. Unless Kirk has the worst game of his life.
Yeah, so I'm on the Minnesota Vikings with you. I think this is a pretty easy choice.
Yeah.
The Minnesota's 6-1 at home. I'll take that all day.
Great stat, Aaron.
Thank you.
Golly,
I'll try.
Now you got me thinking about this dang line here.
Well, I mean,
Minnesota -4.
So I'm trying to think about how Vegas would even come up with that. If they're thinking that Jonathan Taylor's going to run all over this rush defense, I can say maybe, but it's I think this is Minnesota. I think it's Skull all the way. Yeah, I think this is a pretty easy
damn there. Dude, I'm totally with you on that. Let's move it up to your division here. Big divisional matchup, playoff implications on the line. Ravens, Browns in the dog pound, Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, I'm going to defer to you on this one. This is one of my best bets, teasing that to the audience. But who do you want to win, or who do you want to see lose more?
So, oh man, I kind of good.
Because at this point, I mean, I'm sure you know your record better than I do, but we have 4 games left.
Yep.
I think we can say that Cincinnati is the division leader, or they're tied with Baltimore, or I think they have a game on them.
Baltimore has the tiebreaker because they beat us.
That's right. So I think it's going to be one of them, unfortunately, even though that was my pick, was Steelers and the win total, and I can go on and on and on. But so, I mean, are you okay with the Ravens winning because you know that they're the better team? Or do you want to see the Browns lose because you know they're garbage and they'll always be garbage?
So, of course, I love watching the Baltimore Ravens lose.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one too, not going to lie.
But I love watching Cleveland lose, dude. Cleveland fans are just like, why do we always suck every year? And it's like, that really makes me appreciate the Tomlin way of, the standard is the standard. And I know a lot of Steelers fans don't like the standard being just getting winning seasons, but it makes you appreciate not sucking every single year.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I think y'all are ready to reload. I think you just really need one off season. And
honestly, yeah, no, look, the Steelers, we'll get into that. I need to save that for that matchup.
Say what you're saying. I'm sorry.
I could go on a tangent, dude. But straight up, I want Cleveland to lose because no matter how bad a season gets, I don't ever want to catch myself saying tank for X, tank for Y.
Yeah.
I hate that stuff, and it's like,
might as well pick up a new hobby then,
Right. It's like, if you don't like the team being successful in any capacity, whether it's a 9-8 season or whether it's something around a playoff or losing in the playoffs or losing in the Super Bowl, you're not a good fan in my opinion. Or if you switch teams because of it. So I need Cleveland to lose. I want our playoffs to stay that much more alive. Even though we can get dogged out by the Bills again, I don't care. I want to see it. Feed me that stuff. Inject my veins with Steeler playoff hopes, because that's exactly what I want. So I'm going Baltimore Ravens in a rout in Cleveland to send Mr. Watson packing.
Get him out of there.
End that whole season, dude.
Dude, I mean, just not to I almost want to speak it into existence, but could you imagine just the media off season it would be if Deshaun Watson didn't win a single game in the 6 he was allowed to play? That would just do so much for me. Or no, he won one. He won his first week, but he had a terrible stat line. But it's just
okay. Yeah, he didn't win that game.
Yeah, he did not.
Defense won that game.
Or if so, or Texans gave that one away, if you could say.
Right.
So But it's just like, wow, it's like they spent all this money, all this guaranteed money, went through all the legal BS, and got nothing. I would,
Yeah,
that could get me
exactly.
through 6 months of no football. It may be, like maybe.
Hey man, I mean, yeah. So I think it's Baltimore. I assume you're on Baltimore because fuck Watson, right? Sorry for saying that out loud, but
Oh, dude, yeah, we'll let that one slip. Just this one time. I think that's the first. I think
it's
it's
the
the
first
first
time I've
swear
ever
we've had.
cursed. Yeah,
Yeah, or at least this season. Gosh, I remember Evan was like on your case last time.
yeah. We do need
Um,
to add like a counter just to see how many times I cursed in that first episode because
that would
that
be
that would
funny.
have
That'd
been
be a good social media clip.
hilarious.
Yeah. We were like,
All
"Whoa,
right.
Aaron! Like, this is an adult show, but we don't have to just every other word."
Well,
I
but
get
yeah.
it.
So Holden's on Baltimore.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think it's weird because, obviously the injuries to Lamar, that's going to
yeah.
cause a little bit of issues. And I know it says Cleveland -3. I still like the Ravens and plus money. I don't think Harbaugh really lets that split, because I think Cleveland didn't win last time, right? Like they lost pretty
I'm
handedly.
pretty sure because I think the only upset that they really had in the division was that
Yeah, they beat the Browns
Bengals
23 to
game.
20. It was still close.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and I hate to say it as a Steelers fan, but I need Baltimore to put them in the ground.
No, for sure. That's what you want. You want no like confidence in them. You want Amari Cooper to get
Mm-mm.
a little older. Like you want all
Amari
this
Cooper's
stuff.
banged up.
Ooh, that does help.
Donovan Peoples-Jones is a decent fantasy pickup if you really want one.
I may need that because I am not doing a wings challenge. I swear on my life. Which, whatever, we're not even gonna do it.
We
But
can
yeah,
elaborate on that if you want.
after this pick, yeah, I'm on the Ravens. I think this defense got better. That Roquan Smith trade was huge. I think getting
Yes,
J.K. Dobbins and having a run game to lean on now is phenomenal. I think
dude
for the
ran
greater
all over
picture,
us.
yeah, which was he was on my bench. I mean, I would have lost anyway, but I was like, wow, like the Ravens backfield has just absolutely screwed me this entire year in fantasy. And I was like, the 1 year, none of it pays off, or like I just can't get a feel on it. But this Ravens team has so much to figure out in the offseason. Like it's like, are you going to get Lamar weapons to actually throw? Are you going to pay him, or are we just going to trade him for assets and restart?
I mean, think about it in like say you guys the Bills were in the same situation. Like say, you guys had gotten to the playoffs a bunch of times, you lost in the playoffs a bunch of times, but the difference between Josh Allen and Lamar, I think, are injuries.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Yeah.
the amount of pass yards, if we're being completely honest,
Oh
because
no, for sure.
there have been some games that Lamar has had 400-yard passing, and it's like, okay, he's not a running back, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That narrative's played out anyways. He's been in the league for a while now. Everyone should know that Lamar can pass. But yeah, I think because of the injuries and because the injuries are showing up again late in the season, right when they need these division wins,
Yeah.
I wonder if it is possible to get Lamar to not take market money. Is it possible for him to take less, maybe like a Dak Prescott deal, 42 mil or whatever it was, and have him play on that because Dak Prescott's been playing really good ball. I mean, they put up
He's been
40
playing all right. He's been pretty good.
they put up 40 points the last two games, I'm pretty sure, if
I mean,
not
but that's a good
plus.
amount of run game too. I mean,
Right. I
good
mean, put dude
backfield.
Pollard and Zeke. Good God.
It's a nice two-headed tandem. Like it is
Yeah.
nice. Although you do
But
look at Zeke's contract and you're like, why are we paying this guy this much money to have half the touches? But that's a whole nother issue.
yeah, I say you pay Lamar if you can shore up a phenom rookie wide receiver in the draft.
But I just don't think that's how Harbaugh coaches. I think he's been the coach for almost 20 years now, and he's never
Well,
really invested in the position like that.
well, I mean, he didn't have a quarterback like this, I feel like. I mean, Joe Flacco comparatively was a pocket passer and like you could
Yeah, but he had great arm strength. I was like, well, if anything, we need to get him at least possession wide receivers to catch the ball.
I mean, what they got Anquan Bolden and Torrey Smith.
Yep. They even had
Um,
Steve Smith, old Steve Smith. I
yeah, oh,
mean, the end of
Steve
his
Smith was
career.
great.
Yeah, he was
Steve
good for
Smith was
them.
great. So like
Yeah.
they either need to go out and get like an Amari Cooper type guy,
Yeah.
a veteran that still has, juice left in him,
Yeah.
and maybe surround it with a better tandem so that when it does come to push and shove, you will see him play these games and win these games. I mean, like they signed Deshaun Jackson, right? Like,
Yeah, and I don't even think he's really played a game, or so he's been so minimal. I'm like shocked
yeah,
that dude's even in the league. Like it's weird.
He had 2 catches in our game,
Uh,
and I mean, they got first downs with it. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's Tyler Huntley though. So and you have carbon copies of Lamar as their backups. So like Lamar
you
goes
do,
down,
you
Tyler
do.
Huntley's the same way. Tyler Huntley goes down, I think Bradley, the third string, same way.
I don't know. I think you got to fire the offensive coordinator. I think you're not getting to put.
Ooh,
I think it's the
fire
play
Greg
calling.
Roman?
I think so. Like I like Greg Roman. He used to be
Ooh,
ROC when we had Tyler or Tyrod Taylor, and I did like him. And I mean, I know when we fired him, like Rex was like, "Oh, well, the offense couldn't keep up," and I'm like, "Yo, our defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. I don't understand this. This is you shifting
yeah.
blame. That's a whole nother thing." But yeah, it's just like I don't think you're giving him opportunities to pass. I think you really need to have a whole season of
Okay.
like, yes, we're going to let you throw 30 times every game, and we're going to look at the stats in the end of the year, interceptions and completions, whatever,
Yeah.
and that's it.
So do you franchise tag him?
I mean, you can, but I think it doesn't show you anything else that you know. I think just like
No.
I think Lamar's a top 5 guy, just like even
Of
just from an
course.
athlete
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
I mean, just a
so,
weapon wise, like he's
yes,
top 5. So
he
it's
can.
like,
He's almost like Josh, where he can almost move the ball at will, like at times, like,
yeah.
and that's just so rare. And like some team will pay up the nose for it, like even if it doesn't work.
Arizona.
No, they already have too much guaranteed money in Kyler. It would have to be, I don't know. I don't want to say the Texans or something. It would have to be someone who needs a quarterback and just needs like a whole rebranding and everything. But anyway, we've
Carolina,
been on this
maybe.
game a
Yeah.
ton. That would be
Sorry. Yeah.
cool. No, dude, you're good. I started this. Moving on to my game of the week.
Woo!
Woo! I'm so hyped for this game, man. It's on my mom's birthday. Shout out my mom.
Happy birthday,
Uh,
Lisa.
yes, that's right. Oh gosh, this is part of her perfect birthday wish. We love watching the Bills games together. But the Dolphins, we're gonna get revenge. It's gonna be perfect Buffalo weather, just like the fan base described after that shocking loss
Brick.
at the beginning of the year. Yeah, it's like a high of like 20 degrees. They're saying up to 7 inches of snow, like at least 10-mile-per-hour winds, and I'm just like
That's more
hoping for
manageable than 6, right? 6 feet.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, literally it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like if you're a Dolphins fan, don't even hope that they move it. It's like that is they won't even shut down school for that. I'll tell you
No.
that right now.
No.
They don't shut down for like less than a foot unless it all comes down in the middle of the night. Like
Right.
I'm telling you that right now.
Like if fans can't get to the game, then maybe, like you push it
Dude,
back.
no, it's just like they're so used to it there. 6 inches is like a walk in the park. Like it is the infrastructure, everything's just made for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Who
hope
do
the
you got?
Dolphins bring their heaters, because we ain't giving them none. Those jerks. Dude, I'm all on the Bills.
What?
This line came out at -6. I wish I kind of would have taken it then. Now it's at 7. I'll take that because I can get a push.
Okay.
But our offense has kind of been a little up and down, but I still trust this team. I think Dolphins are dealing with injuries. I think Tua looked awful against San
Oh
Diego
yeah.
or against the Chargers, LA Chargers. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, and I think Tyreek Hill is dealing with an ankle injury, so not having him and just having to worry about Jalen Waddle is ideal. And yeah, still got Matt Milano.
Hmm.
Greg Rousseau's been playing nice.
Yeah.
It is interesting that we just signed Cole Beasley. He's on the practice squad. I wonder if we call him up or not, but it's not a reunion I saw coming, but I am not against it.
Who would he replace? Would that be
Isaiah McKenzie,
McKenzie?
yeah,
Yep. Okay.
because they used to kind of split reps like that, and he's just had some drops and just like
Yeah.
he either has a game where he really goes off and like everything's clicking, or it's like 50% and just Josh needs that security blanket, and that really was Cole Beasley the past 3 years. It's like
Right.
so much knowledge, and he just knew how to get open and be a possession wide receiver, like move the chains, live to find another down.
For sure.
So,
Yeah, he was tough as nails, man. And I
dude,
find it
for a small
funny.
guy,
I find it funny because we talked about him retiring
we
the
did.
episode that I had done previously with you, and it's crazy, man. It happened for a reason. He
Happened
doesn't
for a
like being a
reason.
dad. Came out of retirement.
Ah! Dude, I don't
No,
know about that, but I
but
don't
I
know.
I mean, like, so what's funny to me, and
Yeah.
I've talked to you about this.
Uh-huh.
There's actually 2 things I want to talk about.
Okay,
First
sure.
off, you guys didn't lose to the Miami Dolphins. The Miami
Man,
Dolphins escaped the Bills the first time around. And it was
oh,
in
thank you.
Miami. In Miami, it had to be like 70 degrees with like 80% humidity.
Oh no, dude, the heat index was 120.
See, that's insane.
It's
And now
inhumane.
Now they're playing in the complete opposite type weather versus, obviously a division opponent, if not a rival, if you will.
They need this game. There is a potential, knock on wood, that they miss the playoffs entirely. That is a real possibility. If they lose out, they will miss the playoffs.
Maybe I got to do a partially biased pick so the Steelers can kind of sneak in there, So,
That would be nice. That would be
I
nice.
need the Patriots to lose too. Anyways,
I love that.
yeah, I got Buffalo as well.
Mm.
I think after, and this is the second thing I wanted to talk about, that reporter saying that this
Oh,
team does not
dude.
look like a Super Bowl caliber offense.
Yep. Okay.
You said that to Josh Allen. Oh, dude, the amount of stiff arms and hurdles that are going to come from this game, I can't wait. I can't wait to
I
go
love Josh
see
Allen
see
so
Josh
much.
Allen. Let's see Josh Allen go scorched earth. Let's see him drop 40 on a playoff team. Let's see it. I want that for him. I want Diggs to blow up the
I need that.
cornerbacks.
I need that.
I need James Cook to show up. I need Singletary to show up. I need
Yeah.
the defense to slam him to the ground like they did Mike White, bro. I need to see all
Yeah.
of that. See, I'm taking Bills big here. Bills by a billion.
By a literal billion. That would just, oh, gosh, that would make my day so much.
And then Holden had Buffalo as well.
Nice. Thanks, Holden. Shout out, Holden.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Love that. Love that. Partially
for
biased.
sure. Love a little partially biased. All right. Keeping it rolling here. Eagles Bears, weird NFC matchup. A little bit of beef in this. Like I know that what was it Michael Parsons for the Dallas Cowboys said, "Well, look at the Eagles schedule, who they really played." Or I think it was for Jalen Hurts MVP talks. It was like, is
Oh
Jalen beating
yeah.
these teams or is it Philly? And
Yeah.
Jalen responded by saying, "All I'm worried about is the Bears right now." So
I
that's
mean,
interesting.
it's what I expect to hear from a quarterback that plans to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Um,
potentially. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and do two in a row here. I'm on the
okay.
Eagles. I think there's not a ton to talk about here. I know. I would like the Bears to put up a fight and maybe make it close or an upset, just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
But Justin Fields cannot do that all by
No.
himself. So,
And I
yeah.
mean, Chase Claypool aside, or any like Cole Kmet, like there's
Has Chase
no
Claypool
offensive.
done anything?
He's gotten like I think his highest like thing is like 4 catch game for like 26 yards.
I mean, I
Yeah,
know it's
super
too
impressive
soon to
numbers.
say, but I think y'all won that trade because y'all got a second for him, right? Or was it?
Yep. We got our second back
Yeah, no,
from
that's so rare
them.
that you get what you spent.
So
I'm,
win-win. Sorry,
dude,
Chase.
I still really cannot say enough good things about the Steelers organization. It is just, it really is like if you want a blueprint of and Mike Tomlin and everything, and we'll definitely
Yeah.
stroke that ego when we get to your game for sure. But
So
both on the birds, huh?
I haven't spoken.
Oh,
So I do like Philly here. Yeah, shocker. But yeah, I think, yeah. But like I said, no offensive weapons for the Chicago Bears. I mean,
uh,
if the defense shows up even remotely,
mhm.
I think maybe the biggest threat, if he's healthy, is Montgomery along with Fields. But yeah, so it's Philly here. Holden has Philly too, and that's literally all 4 games we are on.
That's a little scary.
Or no,
It's a little
five,
scary.
five straight games.
May have to fade
I got
the.
I got a couple that might surprise you maybe.
I got some too as well. But all right, cool. We're all on those Philadelphia Birds. Fly Eagles fly.
Woo!
Moving it on to a very competitive game. This one is. I think this is like this could be one of the better or the best 1 o'clock game, depending on who you ask. But I think this will be interesting to see. Lions Jets. Jets off a tough loss, playing a little injured. Lions with a nice win. We're really just this Lions team, they keep it up. They may keep Dan Campbell's job, which is like, I
I
think that's all they're
mean,
looking for.
that's honestly that doesn't sound outlandish. Like at the beginning of the season, they came
Beat the
in, lost a
Packers,
couple
beat the
games.
Vikings
I
after getting
mean,
swept last year. It's kind of showing that the tide may be turning. Are you
and
going to
there's
get anything better if you switch? I don't think so.
no, like we've said this before too. Like
Yeah,
you need to have time with a team to build chemistry,
it's just so
and
rare.
it's like, and of course it's like, what, 3 years total kick them to the curb. You had time, you drafted a couple guys, okay. But
Yeah.
even some guys, Matt Rue only had like 2 seasons, I
He had
think.
he had a season and a half. I mean, but like I think that was different because I think that's the problem when coaches come from college to the NFL. I think it's just really is that much of a difference maker. And I mean, sometimes it works, but like, I mean,
Yeah,
people forget Pete Carroll originally was the head coach of, I think, the New York Jets or the Giants, then got fired, went back to college, and then went to Seattle,
I didn't actually know that. I knew he
Now you
was at
know.
USC,
Yep.
and
Like
they had,
he
yeah,
started off as that, like, and even Saban was an NFL coach for a little bit.
he
So
was,
like
he was.
it is tough to go from college to the pros. And it's tough for this day and age to have a coach with a losing record coach more than 2 seasons. So I think he has to get
Right.
a winning record or at least get to 500.
I agree. I agree.
Oh,
So that brings up a question. Do you
mhm.
think hiring straight out of college is a good move, or hiring a position coach and then
Oh,
have them
position
work up?
coach, position
I
coach.
agree. I agree.
Yeah,
Because like you've seen pro ball for a number of years. You're not just coming from a bunch of guys that are so
yeah,
young and so impressionable.
yeah,
You got a professional on your hands. So like for
yeah.
Carolina to do that and hire Matt Rue because
Mhm.
he's the locker room guru or something like that, I think it was. It's like what are you doing,
I
dude?
think Baylor really missed him because Baylor was a good team under him. So, and I
I
think he
mean,
just signed to be Nebraska's head coach, which
he
is
did.
interesting. But
Yeah.
you can coach both. It's just I think you have to kind of you can't go too much at once. Like Brian Dable, I think is a good example just off the top of my head, and that's a
Mm.
bias thing because he was a Bills guy, but was on.
He's a good coach.
He was an assistant, offensive assistant for the Pats for a while. Then was like wide receivers coach, and then like offensive coordinator, I think, for Alabama. And
Oh,
then
nice.
yeah, and then went back, and then we hired him, and then
He's got some
now he's a head
notches on his
coach.
belt. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I feel if you're just college or like predominantly college, and then you jump all the way to head coach, like not even offensive or defensive coordinator. It's like kind of interesting. It's a little
Yeah.
weird to me, but
So
not our business.
I like Detroit here.
Yeah, good
Um,
call, good call, good call.
and like I was just telling you before we got on here, Detroit's
Yeah,
playing some great ball, dude.
they're
Like
flying, man,
their offense is showing up, the
flying.
defense is making stops. I think the line for them right now is new the Jets minus 1.5.
Yeah,
I think that's probably just because of the defensive front there, which I mean that is a concern. But I think
I think it's a
the
trap game.
I do too. I think it's not. The Jets haven't been playing good enough ball for me to believe that their offense has gotten anywhere. Mike White is questionable.
Corey
But
Davis too, I think.
has he been a factor all year? Where has Corey Davis
No, but
been?
you're missing one more wide receiver. It's like you get to pay
Uh,
a little more attention to Elijah Moore and some other players. Like,
right.
that's just my theory.
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I like Detroit.
where
Holden has New York Jets because
it's
he's,
partially biased pick.
yep.
Uno reverse.
Oh, jeez.
Uno reverse.
Well,
Well,
best
it's
of
not
luck
even.
to him.
Yeah, so I'm on the Lions as well. I like this Lions team. It's good to see Detroit have a good team. I think everyone is low key rooting for them. I think no one hates the Lions. So
It's refreshing after if you watched any
right,
of the Hard Knocks and you saw what kind of guy Dan Campbell was, you're like, this guy deserves to win just a little bit,
right. Well, also
Like,
the Motor City. It's like has never been good at football. Has never really had a star player. Well, I mean, you had Megatron,
Megatron,
but then after that it was
Stafford,
Sanders. Well, I mean Stafford, he was good, but it wasn't like
Stat Padford. You just win a bunch of games and then lose the rest of them by the end of the
yeah. I think
season.
they only made the playoffs once, like or
Yep.
like had one winning
It's like
season,
I think it
and
was
it's just
2011. Yeah, they were.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was tough, but I digress. Anyway, so
they need to
Union,
get their W's somewhere.
yeah, and like I think this is the time because like the league is cyclical. Like Aaron Rodgers is not going to play forever. The Packers are not going to have a dynasty forever. Like Kirk
True.
Cousins, while I guess good now, he's only getting older, and like Chicago is just some would say too young to make this step. So if you're Detroit, you're kind of filling this power vacuum in a sense,
Right.
and you're like if
And
you
it's
can
like
solidify yourself as that,
someone steps up. They can at least take second. And if Green Bay doesn't pan out with what's his name, Jordan
Jordan
Love,
Love, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I think
everything's up in the air.
playoffs would be huge for them. I think even just getting a division banner would I think that'd be something fans could carry for like 10 years. I know
For
that's not
sure.
exactly the standard, but it's a good feeling.
It's better than nothing.
Aaron, you know what time it is?
What time is it?
Time for your game of the week, man. Steelers,
Yeah.
Panthers,
So
in the
excited.
nitty gritty Charlotte, North Kakalaki, brother.
God.
Tell me why Steelers are going to win this game. Tell me why they're going to bounce back
Well,
against a good Panthers team.
depends who starts at quarterback.
For sure. Golly, money Mitch.
Kenny Pickett's probably going to be in concussion protocol.
Mm-hmm.
They've started putting Mason Rudolph in pads.
Oh no!
Started giving him a couple more reps in practice.
Oh no!
Look, both teams are 5-8. Both teams, have had their ups, have had their downs.
For sure.
The Steelers defense looked kind of pathetic against the run, against the Ravens, but I feel like that's kind of just the whole AFC North kind of matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that Deonta Foreman hasn't played well in the past couple games for them, and DJ Moore, obviously DJ Moore is a big threat. Depending on who plays quarterback, I think the Steelers could win, but it's gonna be close, dude. The Carolina Panthers have been playing some great ball recently under Steve Wilkes. PJ Walker has been all right. Like as long as the Steelers defense again can keep them in games, I think this is not an easy dub, but a hard fought dub for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think it is too. I think almost -3 is a little generous to Carolina for an inconsistent offense and not a dynamic offense. But I mean, a technically sound defense with only just like one real name on it was a J.C. Horn, their cornerback, and I think they got a DN that's actually not bad too.
Brian Burns.
Yep. But Aaron,
Pick him with me. Come on.
I want to, but part of me is just like Carolina at home. And y'all just being injured. I think if Kenny plays, and I'm like, oh yeah, Steelers all day. But you're like, oh, Kenny may not play. And I have a soft spot for Mr. Trubisky because he was good with us for a hot second.
I mean, if he didn't throw 3 picks last
game,
he would have been fine.
Games aren't won, they lost. He literally lost all the game. Like, it would have been better if you just ran on those downs. Or can TJ walk through? No.
Dude, no. So
he'll do it all. He'll do it all.
Our emergency quarterback was the tight end Zach Gentry.
Oh.
Because he played high school ball.
Because
Rudolph was inactive that game, so it's like he played for Michigan, I think.
Unless I'm thinking about Tyler Gentry. That just sounds like a name you hear every once in a while.
Gentry. But yeah, so it would have been dire straits had Mitch gone down last week. And like, look, it can't get worse, right? It can't get worse. Rudolph, had his time to prove to be a starter. Clearly, the coaches didn't like him. But look, if you got to pick Carolina to make yourself feel better, go ahead. You're not getting a Christmas card. Go ahead.
I love the Christmas card. Damn it! Come on, from the Youngs. First year's the Youngs. That's lit. My heart wants to go with the Steelers. My head's going with the Panthers, man. I mean, it's just they had a good victory against a tough Seattle team in Seattle. They're back at home. Yeah. I think it just comes down to injuries, and that just really is. If y'all win, I will not be hurt. I know. But
it's all right.
I think it's just the Panthers' days. We'll move on.
We already know who Holden's picking because fucking total.
He's on the Panthers for the folks at home who don't know. He has that season bet as well do I. Although we're on opposite sides of that. But let's just stop talking about it. I'll stop hurting you. I'm so sorry. Chiefs Texans. Golly, this one is a stinker and a half.
Oh, dude.
I almost want to take it, but Kansas City's here by 14 points.
Let's talk about this, dude. Houston almost beat Dallas.
Yeah, that was sick. That would have been cool. I would have loved to have seen that.
So, I mean, granted, I didn't see many holes in that Dallas team, but do you see this? Do you see this being a rout? Because it probably is.
I mean, probably. I mean, it's tough any day in the NFL. I don't even know who started for the Texans then. I don't think it was Mills. And I think it was their running game anyway who had a really big one. Mills did play.
Did he? Nice.
Yeah, he was 16 and 21 for 175, but Driscoll was the one with a tutter.
Jeff.
I know, right? Isn't that a name?
Line is -14 Kansas City.
There's just so many points. Like I think it's just so many points per pro game. It's like I have to take the Texans.
Right.
But Texans are going to play for. Chiefs got to maintain their AFC position.
Dominance. Yeah.
I think I'll stay away from it. It may be a private bet, but yeah, I'm all
I
on the
feel
Chiefs
that.
here, man. I don't think the Texans have a chance. The Chiefs almost got upset by the Broncos, but they always find a way to win with Patrick
Division
Mahomes.
game. Division game doesn't matter.
Arguably, that was the best game that Denver's played. I know they've actually won games, but like
That's the
in the
most
ugliest
points,
ways.
the most points and touchdowns that Denver has put up
Yep,
this season.
very sad. Very sad. I wonder how John Elway feels about that.
I mean,
Or I think Peyton Manning has a small role there too, because I feel they show him that like every other game when he's not doing Manning cast.
oh my gosh. I mean, if you're John Elway, you're a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Mhm.
You know Russell has it in him to be one, right? You would think.
Yeah.
But, I think we kind of saw Russell kind of deteriorate with Seattle a little bit in those last few seasons.
Yeah.
And now this is just like unfamiliarity with the team. And
Yeah.
I partially blame Hackett. I think Hackett
I do
doesn't
too.
really know how to hack Russell Wilson. And, giving him pocket passer plays when he's a scrambler kind of guy, we can sit here and make fun of his Broncos Let's Ride thing, but I think when it comes down to it, there was some reporter, there's like a former Bronco player that noticed
Uh,
that he was calling old Seattle like
yeah.
audibles
Yeah. He
in the
was.
Broncos huddle. It's like, are you
And
teaching them those things, or are you just having a little bit of a connection here, dude? Like, what's going on?
I think there's a lot to it. I mean, we've talked about it a lot this year. I think him not playing in the preseason hurts. I think he just needs to humble himself. I think he needs to stop some of these antics. I know he has probably a media team that tells him to post these things or for endorsements and stuff. I think you just need to get back to basics and get back to playing ball. You're
Mr.
making a
Limited.
yeah, Mr. Everyone's got to have an alter ego. It's like literally just put the phone down. Like I don't even
Yeah,
want to say Derek Carr it because I never see Derek Carr in anything.
except crying in press
Yeah, and like that's not
conferences.
a good. I don't know. It's just like just stop. Just
Right.
stop it. Just
Put
play
your head
ball.
down and ball. Yes.
Because it's one thing if you're bad, if it's another thing if you're still pretending to be good and like this cringy dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So we're
taking
both
KC as well. Yeah, it's
where
it's pretty easy there. Holden's on KC as
figured
well.
that son of a gun.
Um,
Real
but yeah,
quick, I did
plus
remember something.
what's up?
So that Bills reporter or like that Buffalo reporter who asked Josh that question got fired this week. It was all over
Serves
Bills.
him right, dude.
It wasn't for that though. I mean, like,
What did he get
so
fired for?
he went on a local like Bills show. It's by Trainwreck Sports. Shout out to
Hmm,
them. That's a plug. Pay me later. Um, but yeah,
nice.
and he complained about the female fans. He's like, let's be honest. Like the women fans, they're the worst. Like, because they don't actually understand football. It's like they're just cheerleaders. They can't
Oh
understand
no.
critical thinking.
Oh no.
It was so gross. And like literally all of like there's like a large female like online presence for the Bills. Like it's like Jill's Mafia or like something like that.
That's awesome.
Like, yeah, there's a ton of them. They're really like good and supportive, and they're like, "Oh, I guess we're so dumb." Like all the tweets of them making fun of it was hysterical. And he actually wrote for three separate publications. Got let go from all of them. So
Good, dude. Check your misogyny, man. It's 2022.
legit. And he tried to
Like
cover up with it. He was like, and it sucks because like majority of women are better than men, like better people. Da da
you
da da.
can't,
Da.
bro. You dug yourself a
Yeah, I'm like, you
hole.
already dug yourself like such a large hole. There's nothing that will get you out from it. So.
No, dude.
So that's
Wow.
wild. So just wanted to
Wow.
throw that in there while we segue to this next game. Um, NFC South matchup. I'm actually really hyped for this game. I know the NFC South sucks,
Right.
but like but the fact it can be anyone's division, that's what really gets me hyped. Wow, that's what gets me hyped. Damn it, I did that
Yeah.
last week in my headphones. That kind of hurt.
Nice.
Yeah, I know, right? Just
Joink.
what happened? Falcons Saints. We'll come back to this because one of my best bets. I'm on the Dirty Birds, man. Like this kid Riddler. They're starting.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Saints have been crap. I literally just needed a little bit out of them. The other week. Oof, they are off a bye. I do like teams off a bye.
I mean, how much is that held up in your picks? Have you actually like paid attention to how many buys
I think a little.
yeah?
I think I'm paid off a little.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
it's
like
like
a little.
it's around 50%.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's not
Okay.
bad.
I mean, look, I'm not buy shaming you here. I'm just saying,
Dude,
Oh
That just
God.
sounds so bad. You're
Yeah.
buy
Yep.
shaming me, Aaron.
Oh jeez.
It's almost 2023 and you're buy shaming me.
Canceled. All right.
Hashtag
I'm
buy
gone. See
shaming.
ya.
Yeah, well, it was nice having you. We're looking for a new data analyst if you know of anyone. So,
Oh God.
yeah, man. But I think Saints have been playing well. This was close. I'll take the Falcons. I think they're a
I
healthier team.
I dude, it's such a toss up. They're both they both have had bad beats and they both
Yeah,
have had decent wins. Like
yeah.
I mean, if I'm just taking a swing here, I might have to follow you on the Birds because the Saints have let me down in a couple of picks of my
hmm
own,
Yeah.
and it just they
Like
don't match up well. I mean, like
they don't. They should have won
Olave,
2 weeks ago against the Bucks. They were up.
and like at
Like
what time do you bench Andy Dalton? Like
I don't think you can because I think James is so hurt. I mean, the reports on his back were like, yeah, he needs like plates and screws in it. I'm like, I think he's done. Like,
he said he's been like healthy since week 6, and like I get that kind of grievance, you know, like they were
I
like
do too.
injuries won't stop you from starting. But like
Yeah.
if the injuries are like you're saying, then like I get it. But he's telling the media that he's good to go, and I guess that's how you have to take those professional courtesies. You
I
know, like nothing's gonna stop me. I'm gonna be motivated. But, you know, Andy Dalton has not shown up. He's played just as well as he did on the Bears, just as well as he did on the Bengals.
I almost think no, he was better on the Bengals. That was prime Andy. I mean, that was a good team around him though. That was a good team around him.
AJ Green was good, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
That one
But
tight end, I can't remember his name. He was real good for a hot second. Because he was
Hayden Hurst was on it?
nah,
No.
because he was also out of Notre Dame. He's just fully out of the league now. He had like an injury and like never was really the same.
Oh, God, what is his name?
I
Yeah,
don't
he was on
know.
Cleveland for a stint.
I think so.
But anyways, no, I'm on the Dirty Birds. I think New Orleans just hasn't played well enough. And like New Orleans should have had the defense to like, you know, win a lot of their games, but with Marshawn Lattimore out, I mean, Drake London's probably gonna do well. So, yeah, I like the Birds.
Yeah, we're on the Birds. I'm wondering who Holden's picking this. It's probably the Saints because I think
He's got his charge.
he forgot to pick this one.
He did. He did forget. No, he put New Orleans. He
Oh, he
put New
did. Oh
Orleans.
no, I know. That's right. That's what he did. He switched it up.
Yes, yes.
All right. So wow, dang. Well, wow, that's funny.
New
Tyler Eifert.
Orleans.
That's who it was. That's who the tight end was.
Eifert, yes,
Yeah, he was a beast
yes.
for like 3, 4 seasons.
He
Um,
was. He was very good at fantasy.
RIP Eifert.
Yeah,
But yeah. Moving
I
on.
don't miss him that much.
I know you don't. No, but you love him if he was in that black and gold. I tell you what.
Hey, he'd play a lot better probably too. You know, I don't know.
I wonder what he's up to. I'll have to look that up after the episode. Cowboys, Jags, that's our next game. I love this game. I think it's going to be exciting. At least I hope so. Jags had a ton of fight last week.
They
Probably
did.
arguably you could say T-Law's Trevor Lawrence. That's why I call him T-Law.
Evan Ingram had the game of his career.
Dude, he
Like,
looked like vintage, like rookie year Evan
yeah.
Ingram for the Giants. I was like, he was catching balls. They were throwing them in his way.
hmm
I needed Travis Etienne to have literally anything, and that didn't happen. And I'm worried about this week because
He's got to be hurt. He's got to be
I
hurt,
think he
right?
still is because he was hurt like the other
Okay.
week, you know. So,
Yeah.
but they didn't get
weird.
involved in the passing game that much. So, and this Cowboys defense is good, at least
It
as everyone
is.
says. So, I think I benched him. But that being said, who do you like, Aaron? Jaguars or Cowboys?
So, you know, I didn't think this would be this big of a toss-up for me,
Right.
but I think I'm going to go against the grain here. I think I like Jacksonville. Dude, Jacksonville's... So,
Jacksonville at
look,
home. Jacksonville at home.
so let me just set the record straight. I know that the Cowboys defense is good. I know
Yeah.
that Dak has been playing really good ball.
Yeah.
And, you know, Ezekiel Elliott and Pollard have been 1-2 punch, very good.
Yeah.
But if there's anything that Houston did besides lose, is show the holes in the Cowboys defense
I
and
do
show
like
the
that.
holes in the offense. So, and Jacksonville has been playing some really good ball. I think they stay hot at home.
Uh-huh.
I like Jacksonville. Sorry, Dallas fans.
Dude, I love that pick. See, that's the pick that gets you up in picks. You have to have some
Right.
upsets, quote unquote. You have to go against. The
It's a
grain.
trap game. It's -4 Dallas. Do you take that?
I think that's closer. I actually think it's a huge compliment to
Really?
Jaguars. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm trying to think because there's gotta be some other games where like, I mean, Buffalo's favored by -7. I know Miami has injuries and Buffalo is that much better in my mind, but like, I feel that's what this should be because Dallas just had a big win last week, didn't they? Where
no,
like they're
they won by
oh
3
no, it was
against.
the week before. I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah,
confused.
yeah, the week before they did.
And I know the Jags had a good game, but it was against a kind of mediocre Titans team. Like,
I mean, that's
or
a division game, though. You don't blow
yeah,
out division opponents, especially with King Henry. I don't know.
dude, all right, like all right, King Henry's overrated. He is. He is. It's an old school type of football. It rarely, if ever, works. It's like we are going to give him 20 carries a game. No other back gets like 20 carries a game. Like, and yes, he'll break off a long one here and then, but he really gets these 100-yard games just because they literally force feed him the ball.
Well,
And
I
yeah, he has the
agree.
body to handle it, but they're one dimensional. They can't pass.
Well, so with the injury to Treylon Burks, that
Hmm.
was huge.
Yeah.
And, they really expected a lot from him. And
Yeah.
obviously, Robert Woods hasn't done.
I mean, he's
er,
old and he's coming off an injury. Like, he's more there just to be a veteran wide receiver presence and
Right.
be a possession receiver.
I mean, like the thing is, their offensive line was the best for a couple seasons, and
No
then they
Taylor Lewan. They've
they
lost
got
some
hurt.
guys. Yeah.
So I could totally see what you're saying there, and like how that blowout could have been foreseen. But with division like games
No.
like that, I don't ever, even Vegas didn't have it that high.
No. And like, even you saying it a blowout, I'm like, oh, it's only 36-22. But I'm like, wait, no, that is 2 scores. That is a blowout. Like,
I mean, that's what they're expecting out of Kansas City and Houston. And I'm like, I
sure.
almost feel like that'd be a little closer. I mean, like you say all the time, these are pros, and when
Yeah.
you put up big numbers on pros, I feel like that does still show some continuity in the sense that, if Dallas can almost be beat by Houston, any given Sunday is still in effect. And
I'm with you.
I think Jacksonville may have a little bit of grit.
I think they
Maybe,
definitely have grit. I don't know. I mean, you're right. Maybe they're getting hot. Trevor Lawrence has another great game.
or I could be dead wrong, and Dallas could dog them like they
You
have the other
could.
games.
That
So
being said, I'm on Dallas.
that's fair. That's
I
totally
think they
fair.
bounce back. Like spin zone to your argument of like, oh, like Jacksonville can look and see the holes.
Hmm.
Dallas has the tape. They see where their holes are too. They're
That's
like, oh,
true. That's
shoot,
true.
here's where we really messed up and got exposed. Let's not do that this week
Yeah.
because I know they're fighting for some seeding in some way or another. Because
So
right now they're the
if they
5.
if they win, they're in.
Wow.
If they beat Jacksonville, they
And
are
you want
in.
that. Dude, it's crazy that the 6 and 7 Bucks are a higher seed than the 10-3 Cowboys. I feel they
Because
almost
that
have
whole
to.
division sucks.
Yeah, kind of.
Come
But
on.
I feel they almost have to change that. But let's keep it rolling here. We got
Well,
6 games left. Oh,
Holden is on
and
Jacksonville.
that's what I figured. Well, in theory, if
Damn.
Cowboys were to lose out and Washington was the win, I think they would get a higher seed. Whatever. Cardinals Broncos. First and foremost, RIP Kyler Murray. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Non-contact injuries are never fun, but you almost look back to this offseason where he made a stink about getting a contract extension and a lot of guaranteed money, and you're
Well,
like, yeah,
I
you
think
called it, bud.
they
You're
they were
set,
giving him
guy.
they were giving him a stink because they were like, oh, there's a gaming clause or like a study clause or whatever it
Allegedly.
was. Allegedly, yeah. And like he was like, well, I wouldn't be college stud. I wouldn't be, almost an
True.
MVP, like that sort of thing.
Hmm.
And like I get it, but I think Holden had mentioned this to me earlier
Yeah.
in the week that he rushed his hamstring injury.
Yep.
So like when you do that, you kind of almost invite worse injuries to happen on the same leg, or vice versa, because you're overcompensating and stuff
I
like
agree to
that.
an extent. Yeah.
Right. Obviously, if the pro football rehab facilities aren't helping you, then that's
Yeah.
an organizational thing.
Nah, for
But
sure. Yeah.
it sucks to see Kyler Murray go down like that. And then I don't have that much trust in Colt McCoy.
No, no one should.
Are you riding, Sean? Are we riding?
Broncos country. Let's hide.
No, we riding, baby. I love the energy from Jerry Judy last game. I
Someone
love
has to step up and be that spark plug.
it. Like
It ain't gonna be Russ.
if it's not Russ, it's got to be a veteran player on that team,
Yep.
and he's got to lead these guys to victory. It's in Denver. I don't
Ooh,
see
Mile
Arizona
High.
keeping up. I love D-Hop and I love his athletic ability, but he's not on
Yeah.
steroids anymore, so he's probably gonna not be that
Oh,
great. No, I'm
damn.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. But against Patrick Surtain, PS2?
It's weird how this Broncos defense has been consistent all year, especially when they traded away Bradley Chubb.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it really is frustrating. We've said it a bunch, and a lot of media outlets have. It's like if they literally just scored like 2 more points a game, they would be a playoff team, and if they
Or
scored 5 more points a game, they would be a top seed.
yeah.
Like, and that's got to be mind-boggling from a coach perspective, GM perspective, and an owner, because that information is known by everybody.
Every single
And
person.
especially when there was so much money spent on one single guy, you traded a lot to get him, and it didn't fix the problem.
Nope.
So they'll fix it, but yeah, I'm
He
on the
is.
Broncos.
Yeah. Yeah. Holden's on Denver as well.
Feel bad for the Cards. Feel real, real bad for them. Poor fellers.
Yeah, I
But
mean, if Kyler was playing that whole New England game, I think they would have pulled that out easily.
no, I think so too, because I think New England is just, again, well coached, and I'll always think overrated, especially with Mac Jones.
Mm.
Freaking wet noodle milk boy.
I mean, you get replaced by Zappy for a couple games. How much faith does your coach have in you? I don't know. Like,
That's why I was like just shocked that even like I know they had to spend the first rounder, because you're not going to get lucky with a Tom again, probably not.
yeah.
But I was like, he's not special. He's not even a special pocket quarterback.
I mean,
Like
when you have the best college talent around,
the best college
it's
coach.
it's very hard to evaluate a quarterback in that position. I mean, you look at AJ McCarron and how he didn't pan out with Cincinnati or
Yeah.
Arizona,
Well,
like
for years they weren't a quarterback school. It's like, yeah, the quarterback will do enough
yeah,
to get the job done. We're going to run the football. And now it's changed a little with like Tua Hurts, this other
right.
kid.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, since we're talking about, did we say what Holden's on? He said he was on the card or on the Broncos?
Yes, he's on.
Okay.
He is
Wow.
riding.
Got a lot of consensus this time. Well, since we're talking about the Pats, we might as well move on to this next game. Patriots, Raiders.
Raiders.
Aaron, I don't know. Does Devontae Adams have a good game? They're playing in Vegas, so it's a
I
dome, no
mean,
weather.
so I've never been a big fan of the secondary in Las Vegas. I
Oh
just
no,
think
they're
they're
not good.
dog water.
Agree.
Um, I it's gonna come down to if Devontae Adams or if Josh Jacobs is gonna get enough reps here. I know they designated Hunter Renfro and Waller to get off the IR, but I don't know if they're gonna activate them this game.
That's interesting.
Um, it's New England -1, and I think that's only because Belichick's defense has historically been good against anyone from his coaching tree.
Oh, true.
Um,
Ooh, I forgot about
and
that.
yeah, Jonas McDaniels kind of,
Josh
he's
McDaniels.
never done well on his own teams, but he's always been good with the Patriots as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
I
that's
just,
weird.
it's a toss-up, but I think I'm going Vegas on this one. I don't think they lose by 1 point.
Ah.
I don't think they lose by 1 point again, dude.
Ah.
I think Bill Belichick needs a taste of his own humble pie. All right, and
Some could say he's due.
some could say he is due, and I think we all realize that it's not Belichick that was good.
Yeah.
It was Brady. You know,
I think it was the
not a lot of
perfect
people would agree with
marriage.
me, but
I think it was a perfect marriage. I think you
just
don't
give
have
and
one
take.
without the other. I think that's really tough to distinct which came first, the chicken or the egg. Like,
That's true. That's true.
I,
But yeah,
all good things come to an end.
I like Las Vegas here with plus money, man. I think in Las Vegas, I don't know if they lose.
Aaron, I'm with you. I think I'm with you. I'm riding with you.
What?
I'm on Vegas as well. I can't stand the Pats. I'm always going to be biased against the Pats.
Fuck the Pats. And if they lose, the
Um,
Steelers have better playoff odds.
That's right. No, and my boss is a Raiders fan. I'd like to see him happy for a little bit.
True.
I feel they
shades.
really are truly a back and forth team. Like they almost win one, lose one, win one, lose one. I mean, actually, the last 4 games they're 3-1.
Josh Jacobs has had
So-
a hell of a resurgence.
I told my
I-
boss, you test that man. You test
Yes,
that man.
yes. And you said this a couple weeks ago. Force feed the ball to Devontae Adams until
Yep.
he throws up. You
Yep.
need this guy. You paid this man
Yep.
all of his contract money
Yep.
that they were going to give him at Green Bay.
Yep.
You have Derek Carr, who can be as good as a Kirk Cousins. Kirk
Yes.
Cousins can win games. Derek Carr can win games.
Yes.
In theory,
Hmm.
everything put together on paper,
Yeah.
the Las Vegas Raiders should be favored
They.
in my humble opinion.
I agree.
But
They've just been so off. Like,
it's just Belichick. And yeah, the one-off games where like they had the Rams dead to rights, but then that
yeah.
they lost their fourth double-digit game or lead in the game. Like they have 4 games like that. And it's
Yeah.
like that's why I think their defense is gonna be garbage. But I think the Patriots don't have the offense, especially
Hmm.
because I think one of their wide receivers is in concussion protocol. He was like wobbling on the field.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you
Shout
saw
out
that.
to I can't remember the receiver who actually
Aguilar, I
stopped the
think.
play. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was like,
Aguilar
"Hey,
was like, "Dude, come get this man.
yeah." It's like,
Please come get
no,
this
he's
man."
he's messed up.
Yeah.
So shout out for that's a good teammate award. We'd love to see that.
Yes.
It's bigger than football.
Um,
So we're on the
Holden
Raiders.
Holden is on New England.
Snake
He is
picking
a
the
snake. He's a
freaking
snake,
Pats.
dude.
God,
Sneaky little
freaking
snake.
snake a little snack. All right. Crazy AFC game. Huge for our friend Jamal, who's a Chargers fan.
Yes. Dude, I'm
Tight.
so mad I
What?
missed that podcast,
I
dude.
know, dude. It was good. Yo, I mean, I guess we can plug Jamal here, but like the stuff he's been posting about 90 Day Fiance is wild. I need context because I have no context about that dude in the last clip
Eh,
he showed. I need some context. I'm like, who is this guy? Are him and this chick actually together, or like, what's the deal? Because
dude,
like, I was on their IGs. I was like, I think they have a kid together. I'm like, this is so weird.
we
Like,
we might have to start following along on 90 Day Fiance, man. We got to
if it
figure
was
out the
just
gossip.
Jamal, I would like, or like his
Like
mom, like I would just follow that the whole way. But all
yeah,
these other weird couples, I don't really care.
nah. But like it was funny. He was like, I wake up next to her, but
It was like,
what?
especially because like the terminology the host used. I was like, bro, you know what that means, like,
Yeah.
you
Don't be
know,
bashful.
yeah. And he was like, I don't. He was like, oh yeah, and like Google Tracks. Yeah, we woke up next to each other. I was like, bro, that is not nonchalant at all.
Ay,
Like,
ay, ay. But
that being
hey,
said,
yeah,
here.
my man eats. I'm proud of him.
He
He's
does.
doing
Super proud
well.
of Jamal. Super proud of Jamal. He's making a life for himself. I love it. Also, his Bolts did me a huge favor in beating those stupid
Oh,
Dolphins.
yes.
I'm gonna ride him again this week. I'm gonna ride the Bolts again.
I like
I,
that.
you
I like that
know,
a lot.
I think
Even if
Herbert
it's
will find a way. Keenan Allen healthy is huge.
yes, and +3 or -3 LA. I like
It's
it. Plus,
tough.
like you stated earlier, dude, maybe King Henry might be one-dimensional,
I
and
mean, is Bosa healthy for them? Because I know San Fran Bosa's having a year.
I do not think so.
Yeah, I don't think so
I
either.
think I think their Bosa. I don't know if he's out for the season,
Uh,
but he's very hurt. But they still have Khalil Mack. They have some decent linebackers.
yeah,
I think they
they
can
do
put
still
this
have Mac.
Tennessee team away.
Yeah,
And Tennessee, as we stated earlier, hasn't been playing that great. Their defense is garbage. I mean,
yeah.
their secondary is getting waxed, left and right. Yeah, I like the Bolts here. I think Holden had the Bolts as well. Yep, Chargers.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much more to say.
No,
I would
dude, whatever.
I assume that Tennessee's gonna put up a fight, but in SoFi, I think the
I mean, they
Chargers.
have to because I mean, technically, I mean, they're in a playoff. They're first in the AFC South, so and only by a game, I believe. They're 7-6.
Who's
I mean,
behind them?
Jags are the next closest at 5-8. So them getting that win, I mean, but that's still so they would need times to lose because there's only 4 games left. It's not like they can really catch that, and I don't know the rest of their schedules,
I
but
mean, if the Jags lead the division by the end of
that'd
the
be huge.
season,
That'd be huge, especially for like first year head coach.
ah,
I mean, Titans have Chargers this week. Then they have the Texans. They should win that, but you never know. Cowboys, they'll probably lose. And then they end in Jacksonville. So I actually did see a Jacksonville fan tweet that the division could come down to the last week of the season. Like even if they
good.
tied and Jacksonville just has that extra division win. So
Okay,
that'd
yeah,
be super, super interesting.
it would. It would indeed.
But yeah, moving on to what may be another blowout potentially.
I hope so.
Uh, Bengals, Buccaneers. Yeah, yeah,
I,
dude. It's a game
What you thinking, man? What you
battle
thinking?
battle of the bees, brother.
Oh my God.
Cats and pirates. Who knew? Yeah, dude, it's gotta be the Bengals. I think this is simple. I mean, sure, yeah, Tom at home, maybe he'll bounce back, but they looked lifeless last week.
Yeah. Tell
All
me
this
why the line is minus 3.5. What's making it that close? Is it Godwin? Is it Evans? Like,
You could say Godwin or Evans because Evans is always good. Godwin's been a little banged up this year. They still have Vita Vea in the middle, who's a stud defensive tackle. If you follow that,
yeah,
their linebacker's not bad. No secondary.
no.
Tristan Wirfs at the O line is good, but they keep on doing all this cutesy little like, oh, we'll pass to the running back, we'll pass to Leonard Fournette, we'll pass to this, and
Leonard hasn't been playing well either.
not
From
last
what I can
week.
tell.
But they do all this cute stuff where they just take a bunch of unders and then they make you have to. I think it's run out. I think this Bengals team is hitting their stride, like
Yes,
putting up
definitely.
some points, like really utilizing all of their weapons. I don't.
I
I
mean,
don't
I
know.
agree with you, man. Like to me, the line should be more like Kansas City and Houston. Like this
I
Tampa
would
Bay
say
team,
7
this
or
Tampa Bay team
6.
sucks,
They're
man.
really not good. They
Like they
are
are
really,
not
really
playing
not
good
good.
ball.
No.
And it's weird because you could have asked me like a year ago
Yeah.
if this team would have been like, I mean, they are leading their division.
Hmm.
That's kind of like inconsequential at this point, I feel like,
Yeah.
because the Panthers are right on their heels, and you
Yeah.
would think with that offense, you would think with Tom Brady, like I don't know if Tom Brady's hitting a cliff. I'm not going to be that guy to say that, but something is off with the chemistry of the wide receivers. Like Evans hasn't been playing well. Godwin just got a touchdown after like 3 weeks of
Yeah.
nothing,
Hmm.
and like there's nothing about the Bucks team I like that would convince me that Cincinnati doesn't route them, in my opinion.
I'm totally with you on that. I mean, to be biased for a second, if the Bengals were to lose, I wouldn't hate that. Like me,
Right? Yeah, of
because
course.
obviously I just do not want anyone else to sneak up and potentially get the number one seed in the AFC. I just don't want that. So, but a lot would need that for them. But I
Yeah.
digress. So I'm assuming Holden's on the Bengals. I don't think he
Yep.
has a lot to lose here.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I don't know. Old man Tom, Father Time is undefeated. So
I expected more from that team, like just because when the Steelers beat them, whatever week it
yeah.
was,
Hmm.
like you saw cracks, right? You saw
Yeah.
like like this team really isn't the same, like, and you could attribute that to the Steelers defense being good
Yeah.
at the time, even without TJ Watt, and like Pickett kind of coming into stride, but like
Yeah.
after that game, you saw nothing good from the Bucks. Like I don't think like I can check their previous games, but like I really haven't seen anything from the Bucks that was noteworthy.
No.
Like that you could take home the mop. I think
Yeah.
their most recent win was against the Saints by 1 point in a
And it's like it
very
was a comeback
miraculous.
win, but
Right, and it was like picturesque of what Baker Mayfield did, which is weird. NFL scriptwriters gave it to the wrong game. But it's that type of stuff where they only beat the Saints by 1. They beat Seattle by 5 points, but
yeah.
or, no, 11 points. But
Yeah.
it's like these weird one-off wins that I don't think they're going to continue against a playoff
There's no
caliber team
consistency.
like
They literally are a
Cincinnati.
50-50 team sitting at 5 and 6 at the top of their division. It is just you need to be consistent.
Right?
And you can't tell me that a team like this is going to make a run. Like
No,
it's tough. But
no.
let's move it on. We got two games left. Let's finish strong. Let's get our best bets
All right.
and get it going. Um, Giants Commanders, Holden's game of the week. He's not here. I'm curious if would Uno reverse it. I think he did that for the last game though, and it tied.
He did. He
I
did the
think he's
Uno
got to be,
reverse.
but all commies in Washington. It's
I
got to be the
mean,
Commanders.
I think it was Deron Payne or one of their
Yeah,
defensive linemen that was like,
yeah,
"Let's get the fans in the building,
yeah. He said he was buying
even
tickets.
even if this building is garbage." Thanks,
Yes,
Dan Snyder.
thanks, Dan
Um,
Snyder. Spare
but
no expense.
you know
Premium
what?
garbage.
I'm Gotta be partially
Aaron.
biased to my wife.
No, not the
We're
wife.
going New York Giants,
Oh,
baby.
not your lovely
We
wife.
got to do it. Shout out to Naya, dude.
Oh, shout
She
out Naya.
convinced me. She said Giants
Oh,
have to win. It's a must-win situation.
I
Saquon
like that.
Barkley's from Penn State.
It's
I
true.
gotta go with the alumnus of my favorite college football program.
Oh,
Look, man, Dable hasn't been
love
able to
Dable.
get. He's been decent this
Fable,
season.
amp, enable. He's trying to find a cable. Da-da-da-da-da. I don't know. He's
Did
gonna
you
keep
just come up with
rhyming.
that yourself?
Yeah, well, he said table and able, and I was like,
Oh shit. But no, I think Brian Dable has got to find a rhythm with Daniel Jones and Slayton, I think his name is.
dude, Slayton is like the biggest waste of money at the wide receiver position.
He's been decent. I wouldn't
Dude,
say
no, no,
that.
look, no, look at his money. Like the past 3 weeks, I agree with
Oh,
you,
oh.
but like I think he's technically a top 5 paid wide receiver, and he has like 2 scores this entire year, and he didn't even have like any last year.
What
Like
in
it
the
is just a
world?
total anomaly.
So, I mean, like,
So
I'm
you talk about
sure
consistency, but I just don't think the Giants have any weapons to be consistent with. No more Evan Ingram.
Saquon,
Sterling Shepard has been injured, and like you said, so many injuries at this point. I love him,
dude,
former Oklahoma boy, but
the man has not been healthy for the past 5
the
seasons.
body can only take so much.
Yeah.
Saquon being back, them running the football, they're playing smart. The defense is better than I thought. Was it Thibodeau, that Oregon
Yep.
DM they
Thibodeau.
got? Yeah, Thibodeau. He's been beast. But yeah, Commanders off a bye though.
Oh
Getting
my
healthy.
gosh. You
Getting
love the bye
healthy.
weeks. I
I'm
mean,
just
look,
saying.
I was telling Holden, 2013, I do have evidence of wearing RS shirts. But it's
I love that abbreviation. That took me a second. I don't know why Holden could ever say that.
yeah, well, so I have rooted for Washington in the past. And if I ever wanted to go against my wife, you know, I would probably pick Washington with the minus money there. It's in Washington, and if that Fandemonium tweet from Deron Payne actually worked out, then more power to him. Heineke's Heineke's been up and down too. Like he you can expect a pick from him almost every game, in my opinion. And
Oh yeah, no,
he'll
for
throw a
sure.
couple, sure. I
Yeah.
think wide receiver wise, like you were
hmm
saying, like the talent on offense for comparatively
hmm
is Washington
Yeah.
favored.
Should be.
But if New York's defense can come out and show a little bit more prowess than what they had last game because they tied, like and you guys were saying this last week. I think both teams were just playing cautious ball. Who goes bold in this game?
Yeah.
Who is going to make the first move? Who's going to do
Everyone
it?
was kind of chicken shit, like for lack
So
of a better word.
you're right. And so I assume you probably have Washington here. I think it's partially biased pick probably.
This is Washington's game to lose because I
It
really
is.
just do think, and the narrative is almost the same for both teams. I think if you take away the run for both these teams and let the quarterbacks make mistakes,
Yep.
I think that's kind of how you eat. But Chase Young has to play. If he does not play now, when?
So
You can't say saving him for playoffs because you may not even make the playoffs. Like this is a playoff game. This is.
he is trending to play from all reports that I have seen and heard, but I
Dude, put him
know
on a
that's
snap count. Just tell him third downs only. Third downs only,
the
big guy.
same old song and dance. I don't know who his replacement was. I'm sure Holden would be able to give us that in a
Oh yeah,
lickety split year, but
good video.
look, if Chase Young plays, I expect a lot out of him.
Yeah.
Just because he hasn't done anything all season. I imagine
No.
he's in game shape because practice, but you just don't know. And I think you're right. I think they need to put him on a pitch count or a
Yeah.
couple plays here and there. You come off for the other guy that's been doing well. It's going to come down to the defense, just like the last game did. And it's going to matter who's got the bigger cojones here, whether Riverboat Ron or Abel
Do
Dable
you
can
want to
do
make the
it.
playoffs or not? Like, because you
Right.
cannot tie again. You
How
cannot
bad
play
do you
scared.
want it?
How bad do you
This is a
want it?
division game. You guys have the same amount of wins and ties in the division.
Yeah.
You need to make a play.
Well, this is huge for Washington because I mean, Giants have gotten swept by Philly, and like Washington had that huge upset. So it's like you
Right.
need those division wins to solidify this.
You do.
But so we're all on that. Holmes for sure on the Commanders. I'm calling it. No Uno reverse this
He's
week. It's too
no,
serious.
he's on the Giants. He went over reversed it.
I hope he doesn't jinx himself. Golly,
Dude.
he'll never forgive himself.
Man.
We'll see.
So you are for sure on Washington.
Oh, for sure on Washington. Washington's
Okay.
got this, babe.
All right.
If not now, never. If not, then they're done. Stick a fork in them. Let's finish up strong here quickly. Rams, Packers. Golly, this game stinks. Monday night, it's gonna be super cold there. Packers off a bye. Oh my goodness, how did they get such a late bye? I'll make it quick. I love Baker. I think weather's gonna play too much of a factor. I think it's gonna be too much for them. I'll take Green Bay.
Yeah, I think Tinseltown's not going to hold up in the cold tundra of Lambeau Field,
Nah.
and I think Aaron Rodgers has a little bit of something to prove now. I mean, like he's yet again bereft of weapons, even though Watson has been good for him, and I think Dobbs is slated to come back from injury, so he's slated to play. Romeo Dobbs. Or Dubes, or however you pronounce it.
Everyone.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers doesn't lose to this LA Rams defense in the cold.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
all right. Who's Holden on here?
Holden is on Packers.
Wow, I'm surprised because Packers could have a wild card potentially. Rams are pretty dead. Wow, that's interesting. Interesting picks from him this week. Well, those are the picks. Really good bunch of games this week. I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm excited for some games. I'll be on a train for some of it, unfortunately, but at least I'll have the 1 o'clock games. Any best bets, Aaron?
So, I'm not really big in the bets, but I'll take a couple money lines here. Take a couple money lines.
Money lines. We don't do a lot of money lines. I like that.
Hey, man. So I got San Fran tonight. I got Buffalo Saturday.
Whoop, whoop.
I got, probably the easier ones here. So Philly. I got Detroit money line.
I like that one a lot.
I am taking Pitt money line against my better judgment, and I'm taking Jacksonville.
Get a good number for it. Get a good number for a lot of those actually, especially if you parlayed them or teased them down. That'd be huge.
I was thinking about that.
Love those. I'm on quite a few with you. I'm on the San Fran spread tonight. I have -3.5. I think they get that. They've been playing so darn well.
Yep.
Gino looked like old Gino last game, just by interceptions.
For sure.
If that's a trendy thing, then I think that's what it is. Ravens +3. It's just weird. Anytime you get Ravens as a dog, it's just kind of almost a no-brainer. Yeah.
It's weird.
They'll find a way to win that game. Falcons +4. We have no idea what this Riddler kid will be. These two teams have played each other close before. And just the Saints have no consistency, and Alvin Kamara has been a shadow of his former self. I'm on the Detroit money line as well. I think they win it outright. I'll take the plus money there.
Love
Bills
that.
-7. I take it every time. And then here's an interesting one. My first over/under of the year.
Ooh, what?
Washington Giants over 40 points.
Okay. All right.
I think the second time it opens up a little more.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think if Riverboat Ron doesn't want to extend the field against this team that doesn't have their top cornerback in Adoree Jackson, and their safeties have been playing well, and I agree with that. But if Riverboat Ron doesn't want to make a statement here that says no one wants to see us in the playoffs, he doesn't deserve to be in it. So he needs to spread the field. He needs to throw Jahan Dotson deep. He needs to get oh my gosh, Scary Terry just
he needs some catches.
Livid. I need to see Scary Terry with that Jerry Jeudy energy. I need him to be upset that they tied. I need him to see something in that. And if they don't, then they don't deserve to be in it.
Fully agree.
Sorry, Holden, but if they're not going to play like they want to be in the playoffs, if they don't play with Holden type energy, then they don't deserve it.
No, and I'm with you, because if you barely make it versus if you barely don't make it, your draft pick is about to be the same. So you might as well get in the playoffs, get that experience for your team, maybe try to go on a run, whatever. But so I'm with you on that. Oh, this was a fun episode. Aaron, anything for the folks at home?
Pray for the Steelers. Give us that spirit bomb type energy, and just hopefully they can go either 3-0-1 or 4-0 to keep our playoff hopes alive.
For sure. Awesome. Yeah, man. Shout out to our loyal listeners. Thanks for always listening. Appreciate it. Hope you win all your bets. We love you so much. Like, follow, subscribe, share, all the stuff. Also, Mom, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Lisa.
Yeah, love you. Bills by $1 billion.
Go Steelers.
Go.